Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyamsa tato jaya mudira nasta payet sabadvesu nityam bhagavata seva bhagavati uttamasoke bhakti bhavaiti naistake Amagyanatamivandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Sakso Menitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sachetanya Manobhistam Saplitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodato Gurudaya Puspavantu Chito Chandu Tanon Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadara, Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktabin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sanya Vade Pasatya Disatari Vancha Kalpatari Dacha Kripa Sunabhya Eva Cha Patitana Pavani Vaishnavi. Someone may say, why all this red tape? Why did you just start a talk? Oh, why this prolonged? You're just wasting the time, Why don't you just start talking? This is our process, our procedure of invoking the mercy of the acharyas, invoking the mercy of the sadhus, to be guided, to be able to tailor our efforts for successful sharing and caring in Krishna consciousness. So, this is part of the Festival of Inspiration. That's what they used to call this festival in America. You use your Sanskrit terminology, Prerana, and Festival of Inspiration, right? So, this is very good because we need festivals. Krishna consciousness is about festivals. And festivals are centered on having deep insights on Krishna, having deep insights on the motivations and inspiration that Prabhupada has delivered to the world in spreading Krishna consciousness. So I was requested, or I was instructed to give some talk on Krishna Lila. So I was thinking of one thing about, Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, text 36. In the first line of that text, Lord Krishna mentioned due time, chalayatama asmi. Who knows the meaning of that? Who knows the meaning of that? Hey, don't nod your, don't make your head like this. This is Bhagavad Gita. It's not this stuff. It's not a hardcore hardcore science. Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, text 36, the first line. Lord Krishna mentions Dyutam Chalayatam Asmi. Krishna said he's a gambler of cheats. So let's make some preliminary investigation and research about how to support this Krishna association. We know Krishna as, someone who always volunteers to help, the whole humanity. He raised up Govardhan here with his left pinky finger when his mother was in anxiety. How can, he was 7 years old, right, at that time. And he drank up forest fire. his friends and the cows were affected by Kalia's venom, you know, they went into slumber or maybe dead. And Krishna was not paid for anything that he did for the world. He was not paid for the services he rendered to the Brajavasis. These days, people are rendering some service. We are asking, what am I going to get from this? How much are you going to pay me? But Krishna, his own volunteer service is just so amazing. And again, that is a fulfillment of his assertion in the Gita that he had appeared to protect, to give pleasure to the devotees and annihilate the demons. So, how could Krishna say that, he's the gambler of cheats? We don't see him as a gambler of cheats. But let's see. Maybe what he said is true. So the first support to this very situation is that, Krishna is unpredictable. And someone who is unpredictable in the sense that, like I was mentioning yesterday or so, day before, he said he was not going to fight in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But when his devotee was pushed to the wall, he changed his mind. He invoked his chakra. That is a typical example of a case of somebody who is unpredictable. He says one thing, you can rely on what he says. But Krishna is not our modern day politicians. His unpredictability is a favoritism for his devotees. In other words, Krishna may say one thing, but for the sake of the devotee, he will violate that. That's what he did with Arjuna's case. So, that is some type of gambling. He cheated Bhishma. Bhishma was fired up. The Krishna halted him and said, hey, you dare do this to my devotee? Hey, Chakra! And he jumped down from the chariot. But that was also to the pleasure of his devotee. So he's unpredictable. If we want to be, if we want to please Krishna, we should understand that he has all the good qualities and he also has all the bad qualities. Oh yeah, where do you think we're getting our bad qualities from? Krishna said, Aham sarvasya prabhavas, manta sarvam pravartate, iti mantra bhajanti mam, buddha bhava samavita. Everything is emanating from him. Good, bad, emanating from him. So, we'd like to talk some things about Krishna's pranks to support the Bhagavad Gita, first line of chapter 10, text 36, where Krishna says that he is a gambler of cheats. Don't try to cheat Krishna. And this is applicable for even for his devotees, for his very close devotees. If someone tries to play around Krishna, he teaches them a lesson. So, we cannot predict Krishna. For instance, again, like what we mentioned, Dave said about Kaliyavan. Kaliyavan never predicted that. He could not predict that, Krishna is leading him to death. He just thought, hey, This cowhead boy, he's running away. He's fleeing from the battlefield. Let me chase after him. It's like police. You see, he's a criminal. And then, they take searchlights, they take helicopter to chase after him. But Caliban was just chasing after his own death. And because Krishna, Krishna is dead. Either we surrender to Krishna now that we are healthy, we give services to him in a loving mode, or we will forced to surrender to him in his form as death. So Caliban was led by Krishna to his own death. Krishna tricked him. That was a prank. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had documented 4 pranks that he ascribed to as moonbeam of sheer astonishment. Moonbeams of sheer astonishment. In other words, the moon, it gives shooting rays, right? And these shooting rays from these pastimes, it's just too amazing. Sheer astonishment. So first of all, he documented this in his literature called Chamatkara Chandrika. Moonbeams, literally speaking, moonbeam of sheer astonishment. I like to refer to literature that I discussed pastimes on because of my involvement in academia. I saw one pastime that one Western devotee blogged on his website. There was no reference. I loved the pastime. So I sent him a message. I love these pastimes you narrated here. But see, I'm a scholar. I would like to repeat these pastimes before my friends. They will ask me, hey, Vas, what's the reference? So can you provide the reference to your stories? I never heard back from him. So I saw again that same story, that same pastime, in a detailed format on the internet, on a Facebook page, managed by a Mandya in India. I think some Mandya in Vrindavan or so. And then I checked, I saw even some telephone number. I said, oh, my whole problem has been solved. So I called up that number. I said, see, I like this pastime. I have been wanting to know more details about this pastime. Could you provide a reference? So the guy I spoke to, he said, all right, we'll get back to you. So I didn't hear back. So I sent a message to him. And then we spoke. And he said, oh, this is from the Bhagavad Purana. I said, no. I said, I have Canto 1 to Canto 12. In fact, 2 sets. In my temple, I have 2 sets of Bhagavatam in my room. I said, if these pastimes were there, I wouldn't bug you. I wouldn't come to call you up. I would just know that it's there, and I'll go and make some detailed refreshment. So, but he detected that I was from ISKCON. Then he said, how do people join ISKCON? I said, how do you know that I'm from ISKCON? So, the bottom line is that I like to make references because of allowing people to be able to, so that people can repeat that same story in the future without any embarrassment. And Prabhupada is very fond of references. You read his Bhagavad Gita purpose, Bhagavatam purpose, is full of references. So, in the moonbeam of sheer astonishment, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur documents 4 pastimes on Krishna's pranks, Krishna's mischievous pranks. And that is leveling up, or supporting the very conception or the phenomenon of dutam chalayatam of gamblers and the cheat. So, Radharani has been accused of flirting with Krishna, although she is married, by Kutila. Kutila is Radharani's sister-in-law, the sister of Abhimanyu, the daughter of Jatila. Kutila and Jatila. They have very similar characteristics. They're crooked. And they will make sure that they generate some strategy to be able to stop Radharani from going to do any service to Krishna. Because at one time, Vrajeshwari Yashoda was depending on Radharani to come and cook for Krishna, especially sweetmeats. But one day, Jatila generated some strategy to stop this whole process. So she told her daughter Kotila, now you have to tell Vrajeshwari Yashoda that I love my daughter-in-law so much. And my daughter-in-law is married, she's a married girl. And you, Mother Yashoda, you just have to learn how to prepare the things that Radharani has been preparing for your son, so that this whole game does not produce more rumors about illicit relationships. So Jatila was successful. Kutila took the information to Vrajeshwari Yashoda. Yashoda said, a beggar has no choice, you know. But then, that scenario created intense separation from Radharani, the gopis, and Krishna. In fact, Radharani was very much affected. The gopis were very much disturbed because they couldn't have darshan of Lord Krishna. So, one day, Vishaka just went to Jatila's place, the same compound, that, you know, Radha's chambers, where she stays with the gopis, it's the different chambers. So Vishaka went to Jatila and, you know, crushed herself flat on the floor, crying. So Jatila was surprised. She said, what is the problem? She see, Vishaka said, Radha is about to give up her body. So Jatila was surprised. What has happened? He said, oh, she was bitten by a snake. She saw some ailment or something like that. And that was on the snake's head. So she thought it to be, one of her earrings. And it was under the tree. So she tried to pick it up. And not knowing it's a snake. And so the snake bit her. And in traditional Vedic culture, snake bites are considered, they are taken very seriously. Even today, snake bites are very, they could cause death. So Radha was like at a very dangerous situation. And then Jatila was put in this type of anxiety. But you know what? There was no snake bite. It was a prank. Jatila was putting the gopis and Radha in anxiety. So they thought, let's teach her a lesson. And then Jatila called up Kutila. This is the development. What have we got to do? We have to go straight to Gokul and consult with Bhagavati Purnamasi. She will give us some sense of direction. Because Radha, Jatila had also indicated that they could get a snake charmer, someone who is expert in this type of things, to come to the rescue. But Radha gave some condition. No man should come near her. Otherwise, she will die. Immediately, she will die. Jatila doesn't want her daughter-in-law to die. So they decided to go to meet Bhagavati Purnamasi for some solution. And so after going to meet Bhagavati Purnamasi, so at that time that they went to meet Bhagavati Purnamasi, Gargi was with Purnamasi. Gargi is the daughter of Gargacharya. If you read the Lalita Mandava, you see the intelligence of Gargi. She was discussing with Purnamasi. Purnamasi is considered to be the spiritual master of all the gopis. And she was discussing with Purnamasi like a super spiritual hero. As if they were mates. So Gargi was there with Purnamasi when they came. When Jatila and Kutila came. And so Purnamasi consulted with Gargi that, of any snake doctor who can help with this? And Gargi said, yes, my sister. She said, my sister can do it. She is married in Kasipura, but she had come to Mathura. So we could consult with her and she'll be able to help. But the Gargi sister, sister Goranita Keja. The Gargi sister, is somebody called Vidyavali. And that Vidyavali is Krishna disguised as a female. Dhanista, the servant of Yashoda, had dressed up Krishna like a female that morning by the instruction of Gargi. So Gargi said, yes, our sister can help with this project. And then the initial suggestion was that they could go, and Gargi and the sister would meet them up in Mathura. So, but then, Vidyavali, the Krishna disguised doctor, our snake doctor, is by the corner. So, Gargi just invited him. And then all of them went to Jatila's home to take care of the business, to cure Radha from the snake bite. And so when they went there, the process was very much detailed and deep. And so after administering the appropriate technologies for the relief, Radha was still panicking, in pain, about to die. And so the doctor said, all right, we'll adopt another procedure. Everybody should leave the room. Everybody should leave the room. And the doctor, the sister, Gargi, and some gopis alone should be there. So the main people, the main actors, Jatila and Kutila, were asked to leave. Now Krishna feigned the voice of a snake. And Jatila and her daughter were outside of the room. They were hearing the conversation. Krishna said he will invoke the snake who beat her from Kailash. He will invoke the snake, discuss with him what the remedies required to be able to treat this girl. So Krishna feigned the voice of a snake. And he was dialoguing, discussing with the snake. But the gopis know. The gopis knew what was going on. Jatila and Kutila were in suspense. So the gopis were in a very jubilant, joyous mood internally. That these crooked people, they brought them to book. So Krishna was asking the snake, why the snake beat this girl? The snake said, because Jatila was offensive to Duvasya. He defamed Duvasya. She defamed Duvasya. And another reason, there were two reasons, I don't remember the other one. But when the snake said that, those gopis, they were giggling, They were hearing a voice. For Jatila and Kutila, it was a snake and the doctor discussing. But for the gopis, They knew it. Krishna feigned that snake voice. So here is where the gambler comes in. You want to stop Krishna's services. This is a good lesson for us. You want to stop Krishna's services. You are looking for trouble. So, after this whole discussion with the snake, there was some prescriptions, and that was followed. And Radharani was cured of the snake bite. And then there was this vow from Jatila. And the snake said that Jatila should never stop Radharani from going anywhere she wants to go. She should, if she tries it, the snake will come and bite Abhimanyu and Radharani. So the question was why? I mean, why don't you bite the person who is the offender? He said, no. These are the people most dear to him. When I kill them by my bite, she will be in distress for the rest of her life. If I bite her and kill her, it's all finished for her, and she's not going to be any distress. So, having said that, and having given the prescribed remedy, and Radha became cured of the snake bite, recovered from her unhealthy situation. The snake also warned that if she does not allow Radha, her daughter-in-law, to do whatever she deems fit, to go wherever she wants to go, if she stops her from going to cook for Krishna, there will be more disaster in the family. So, by that, it puts Jatila's crookedness to the background, because she vowed never to try to stop Radharani from going to cook for Krishna. So here is the devotional implication of this very Leela for us. Sometimes we are in anxiety. We're thinking, oh, someone is going to stop my service to Krishna. Right? Sometimes we get in anxiety. We're thinking, someone is going to stop my service for Krishna. I remember one very senior manager in Mayapur. He had called me for some things. And then he said, Maharaj. And don't ask me for the name, because I will not tell you. And he said, Maharaj, so you should pray for me. I should maintain my service. I said, no problem. Krishna will protect you. You're a good boy. So sometimes we are in anxiety. I'm a pujari. I'm doing nicely here. And I have anxiety that there's some coup going on. They want to remove me from my service. My service to Krishna. This is so dear to me. We should not be worried. We should be just dedicated to our service and prayerful. Anybody who tries to stop any service to Krishna will get terrible repercussions. The case of Jatila and Kutila is a typical example. So, in this moonbeams of sheer astonishment, this very Leela intrigued me, because this is not the first of the four Leelas documented in this very literature, but the implications is so intriguing and is so comforting. It gives you solace that just do your service and never mind whatever someone intends to do to stop you from rendering the service to Krishna. Krishna will take care. So this is a very good example for us. And what's the time now? Oh. So there's still time. So let me go to the first of these moonbeams of sheer astonishment, documented by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. These are special leaders. And one day, Abhimanyu has been called by Vajishwari Yashoda to come and to get some things for Radha. Because Radha was very service-oriented to Krishna, and Vajishwari Yashoda treated her like her beloved daughter, although she was married to Abhimanyu. So one day, Mother Yashoda invited Abhimanyu to come down. Abhimanyu lives far away in Yawat. So Mother Yashoda invited him to come to Gokul and collect some gifts for his wife. So he came by. And Mother Yashoda ordered her servants, Dhanista and others, to load one box full of jewelries to be taken by Abhimanyu to Radharani. Some of you have had this pastime before now, right? Krishna in the box. So after loading this box with all different type of jewelries, some guys came to see Yasoda. So Yasoda just stepped outside to attend to those people. And Krishna ordered his cowherd boyfriends to remove all the jewelry in the box. And he goes into the box, got locked up. So, Mother Yasoda comes back. The presumption is the box is filled with jewelries, locked up. So she called Abhimanyu, come and take this box for your wife. And they helped Abhimanyu with this box on his head. And he has to carry that box, walk all the way to Yawat. That's not a joke. A box full of jewelries. But the jewelries are not there. It's Krishna who is there. And then Abhimanyu was very thankful to Brajeshwari Yashoda. And then he picked up this box with the help of the other Gopals there, put it on his head, and he walked, and he was sweating. Heavy. So he got to Yawat, and he went straight to Radharani's chambers. Radharani's chambers, she's not by herself alone, with a host or a fleet of gopis. So when he brought his long box. And he mentioned that this is a gift from Mother Yashoda. And she wants rather to have these gifts, the content of this box, full of jewelries. So the gopis, they were all very excited. They were very happy. And then Abhimanyu went to, with the help of some of the gopis, they brought down the box, put it there on the table, and then he left. He was so confident. He left. And so the gopis, they were so much, excited. They want to see the content. Jewelries for their, for their queen. And when they opened this box, Krishna jumped out. So the people, they all just burst out laughing. Then one of the gopis accused Krishna that, you are a thief. This box was originally full of jewelries for Radharani. And you stole them. Go and bring the jewelries. And he knows Krishna's defense. If you read this story about on the pastimes of Krishna planting planting pearls in Vrindavan, chapter 2, you see these gopis, they talk so deeply about philosophy. They talk so deeply. And some of the things that they discuss in that chapter, honestly speaking, we cannot understand. Because they are just so deep. So, Krishna is also very expert at defense. And so when he was accused that, you stole the jewelries. Because our understanding was that this box, is full of jewelries coming from Mother Yashoda. And you know what Krishna said? He said, so you conspired. When you force somebody out against his will, what did they say that in court of law? That's a 10. If somebody comes and takes you, forces you away without your consent. Any lawyers here? Anyway, the terminology escaped me. But Krishna said, you conspired to force me to come here, force me into a box to come here. So the gopis, they were shocked. They were surprised by this type of defense. Because that is a criminal matter, a serious criminal matter. So, in that way, Krishna was able to protect himself from the harassment of the gopis. Now, what is the rationale for Krishna going to the box? The rationale was to meet with the gopis, to satisfy the curiosity of Radharani in terms of meeting or bridging the gap of the love in separation. So Krishna can enter into a box. It's a bunch of inconvenience. If you are locked up even in a room, I don't know the case in India here, but if you are locked up in a room in America, the person who is locked up in the room will call the police. False imprisonment. But Krishna was locked up in a box. He was so desirous to meet his devotee. You see, sometimes we think, but I have this desire to be with Krishna. I have this desire to do this for Krishna. if we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes multiple steps, perhaps more than 10 steps towards us. And especially when the loving relationship is been established and becomes so intense, Krishna becomes so desperate to be with his devotees. And that's why he could inconvenience himself to put himself in a box, be locked up, be taken all the way from Gokul to Yawat, under the sun. So Krishna can take any inconvenience for his devotees, for the pleasure of his devotees. That is his promise in the Bhagavad Gita. He descended for the pleasure, to give pleasure. His activities is meant to give pleasure to his devotees. People are looking for pleasure, but we're looking for pleasure in the wrong place. Can you imagine where God has to inconvenience himself to come to you? That was the position of Krishna in reciprocation of the love that the gopis, especially Radharani, has for him. So, this is the first of the pranks documented by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Moonbeam of sheer astonishment. Now, I'd like to quickly jump onto some other prank. Keep in mind, we're talking about pranks. I'd like to jump onto another prank. And that was something that more or less like a commonplace. But, Krishna basically is the embodiment of all pranks. And essentially, the devotees of Lord Krishna should understand that Krishna is the embodiment of pranks. He is the gambler of cheats. And at the same time, he is the embodiment of love. So one time, we know that Krishna is also fond of stealing. Right? Who here doesn't know that Krishna, as a child, he was very fond of stealing? Goes to the neighbor's house to take milk products. And when he's accused, they say they are all his. He says they are all his. So if you have a Mercedes and you jump into a Mercedes and drive away, can you call the police to say you stole your Mercedes? No, it's your Mercedes. So, one day, and when, this is a very common thing, when children do something wrong, the parents are very fond of protecting them, defending them. So the case of Krishna was not different. When Krishna goes to the neighbors' homes to pilfer into their milk products, and they come to complain, Mother Yasoda will always protect Krishna. And one of the reasons she proffers is that she has all of those things they are talking about. So how could her beloved son leave what he has at home to go and take from a neighbor's house? Good reason. But so here is how that prank goes. Upananda is Nanda Maharaj's brother, one of Nanda Maharaj's brother. So one day, Krishna had gone to Upananda's home and stole some milk products. Unfortunately for him, he was caught by Upananda's wife. But, hardly Krishna begs anybody for any crime, so-called crime, or mischievous activity he performed. Hardly Krishna begs anybody. He will always have a reason to put forth. But on that occasion, he was caught red-handed. And so he pleaded for forgiveness from Upananda's wife. But she was so adamant. She said, your mother always protects you, says that we all telling lies against you. But today, she will see you herself, that you have been caught red-handed. So she buckled up Krishna. Let's go meet Brajeshwari Yashoda. So Krishna, as they were going, Krishna was begging her. She was completely adamant. And so when they went to Nanda Maharaj's home, Upananda's wife called on Mona Yasoda, and the Mona Yasoda came out. And then she said, you see, you kept denying that your boy does some nasty things. I caught him red-handed today, stealing milk products from my home. So, before she could finish, she raised the veil. She was covering Krishna with a veil as they were coming on the road. So she raised the veil. And that was, you know who appeared in the veil? Krishna changed to Upananda. The lady's husband. Somebody said that was perplexed. He said, my son, you brought my son, having stolen some milk product from your place, but this is your husband. How is that? She was completely perplexed. Krishna is also the master of all mystic powers. Mystics, they can change into different bodies. It's a perfection. It's a CD. We don't look for those CDs because according to Krishna himself in the Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto, or canto of the Bhagavatam, when he was speaking with Uddhava, discussing about CDs, Siddhic perfections to Uddhava, Krishna advocated that his devotees don't need to endeavor for CDs. Why? Because the CDs, they distract one from devotional service in a significant way. So, when Upananda's wife unveiled the cloth and then they found out it's not Krishna that she brought to Mother Yasoda, it was her own husband. That was the end of the story. So she went back with the husband. So as they were going, Krishna changed again to his original form, Krishna. And then he told Upananda's wife that, see, I begged you to forgive me, to leave me, but you wouldn't. So this is the result of your stubbornness. So, Krishna's pranks are unlimited, but what basically we should understand is that the person we are worshiping, the God we are worshiping, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, don't play around with Krishna. Don't try it. As Lord Jagannath, he has big eyes. He sees far and wide. He is also in the heart of each and every one as the super soul. So if even we do something in the dead of night, nobody is seeing us, nobody is policing us. Krishna is witnessing. We try to play some games with Krishna. He is a super prankish God. And therefore it is important when we understand some of the values the potencies of the Lord. That helps to build our deep faith and conviction in our object of worship. So I personally love these pranks because people sometimes think that they're very smart. And I remember in the Pancha Tantra, a crocodile went to this Pancha Tantra. Prabhupada tells some stories also from the Pancha Tantra. So there was a story of this crocodile who went, the wife wanted the heart of a monkey. Doctors have recommended heart of a monkey to cure her disease. Otherwise she will die. Crocodile's wife. So the crocodile went by the bank, there was one tree and there was one monkey there. So he went quickly to make some friends with the monkey. Crocodile and monkey making friends. So one day this crocodile went to the monkey, greeted him very nicely, and said, I came to invite you for lunch. The monkey said, oh, this is very good. Let's go. So he jumps down, climbs on the back of the crocodile. Ooh, they are going. As they were going, in the middle of the journey, the crocodile revealed the true story. He said, hey, my friend, listen. The truth is, my wife, the doctor has recommended the heart of a monkey for my wife's ailment. That's why I came to fetch you. Oh, he said, that is very good. The monkey said, that is very good. But you know what? We monkeys, we don't carry our hearts. My heart is on top of the tree. So can you take me back? And I'll pick it up and then we go. I want to save your wife, your dear wife. No, your wife needs to live. So the crocodile, stupid crocodile, he went. He went back to the bank and the monkey jumped off the tree, and then the crocodile was waiting for the monkey to come to pick his hat and come back. And the monkey touted him. He said, yes, so stupid. So you think that we monkeys, we are just stupid like you? And you believe me that my heart is on top of the tree and you're waiting there? So sometimes the devotees, people tend to see us as stupid people if they don't come close. People who don't have anything to do. But when they come close, then they realize that, those are the Krishnas. They're Paka. They're very smart guys. So we have to be smart. No need to quarrel. We have to be smart. And sometimes prankish, also like Krishna. Being prankish, you don't quarrel with people. You figure out what they need, they want to use you, or they want to do this, or whatever, and you relate accordingly. So Krishna was very expert at transformative change. It's a transformative change. If you Google transformative change, you see so many researches that Krishna is the origin of transformative change. He could even change his body to deal with somebody, to play pranks with somebody. Yes, any comments or questions? Mischievous pastimes, prankish pastimes of Lord Krishna. He calls for the devotee to be very smart and at the same time be humble. Don't play tricks with Krishna. He is the best of tricksters. Yes, any comments? Give it, Prabhu. Any comments? No, Mike. You can speak. What's the problem? It's a small hall. Yes. Who wants to speak? Yes, yes.
You should actually tell Drona that Ashwatthama is dead. But Yudhishthira still faced the consequences, though he lied for Krishna and this Krishna's instruction. Would you please explain that?
Yeah. The point is, whatever actions we perform, there are consequences. And the fact remains also that if we have direct instruction from Krishna, we should leave aside our comfort zones. Arjuna had some hesitation because he was just after his comfort zone. You see, if we are to perform devotional service, performing devotional service, in essence, it's like signing your death warrant like a military officer. Some of us, we don't get it. So, if Krishna gives an instruction, we have to execute. If Prabhupada gives an instruction, we have to execute. But we should not play the role of Prabhupada. We should not play the role of Krishna. We should not tell someone to go and tell lies. There's a reason, whatever reason, there's every reason, there's a reason for whatever Krishna says or instructions that he gives. So, I mean, it's like, I said this about Prabhupada also because I have met some people, even some Prabhupada disciples, that express this idea of, I remember one guy, he was from Colombia, South America. So I met him in his community when I was traveling in the US. So he picked me up in his car. We're going to the main temple after Ratha Yatra. And he's Prabhupada disciple. So this is what happened. He was in medical school. And America, South America, medicals, doctors are like demigods. You have one doctor in your family, whew, like Devahuti, like demigods. So he was in medical school, and some devotees from ISKCON lured him to stop his studies, to come and be a brahmachari. So he came. They were proper disciples. Why? Prabhupada also did that. But Prabhupada also did the opposite. Like Nityananda Goswami, he told us how he was in Berkeley, one of the best universities in California. So he wanted to stop his studies to just join Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told him, no, you cannot leave your studies. You have to finish. We need your skills. There are some of Prabhupada's disciples that he picked them up from the university. They were studying. He told them, hey, stop. Just follow me. We are not Prabhupada. We are not Krishna. And so, if we are giving people instructions, we should consider the foreseeable future and the unforeseeable future. The implications. And therefore, yes, Krishna can tell someone to tell a lie for the purpose of satisfying him. Krishna can tell someone to kill his relatives for the purpose of satisfying him. Whatever it takes to satisfy Lord Krishna. And Krishna orders us to do it. We have to do it. But otherwise, there are sastras. There are sadhus. There is the guru. So our workmanship. Our workbook is based on Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. And so it's so easy to use Krishna's ideologies and instructions or his activities and his behavior to rationalize what we do. But that is selective rationalization. We pick one thing. Krishna says so many things, and we pick one thing and say, Krishna told you someone to lie, so why don't you also lie? I remember, I'll give a striking example in this case. There was an Indian boy. He finished his master's in IT. He got a good job in New York. He told me his story, very pathetic. He was getting married, and his father is a medical doctor. Mother is a medical doctor. The mother was in the forefront of arranging a marriage and like forcing him to accept the girl that she likes. Indian boys are very submissive. He did that. But his counselor did something. He told me that destroyed the marriage. The girl didn't know deeply about his involvement in Krishna consciousness. And the counselor told him to tell a lie. That he's not so deeply involved in Krishna consciousness. But he chants 16 rounds. What type of deepness that you want? So he told the girl is not so deeply involved. But why tell a girl, someone you want to marry be around with for the rest of your life, lies? So the counselor told him to tell the girl a lie. He told a lie, believing that that counselor is his salvation. He told the girl a lie. They got married. They divorced after 5 years. Why? The lady said, you told a lie. You told a lie. You told a lie. So, we should not imitate Krishna. This is the point. We should not imitate Prabhupada. We should do things according to Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra. So, yeah, it's a nice point you raised. Especially in the matrimonial homes. It's so easy for somebody to use the scripture to rationalize the deviations. Yeah, we should be careful. Because whatever we do, we get some repercussions. All right, any other comments or questions? Horrible. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for the class. Maharaj, you said don't play around with Krishna. How to safeguard ourselves from duplicity, that we don't play around with Guru and Krishna and not to take Krishna consciousness for granted?
Yeah. Individually, we should be cautious about, my Guru Maharaj, I remember even when I was his personal assistant, original secretary, I was supposed to stay with him in the same flat, the topmost flat of the building, of the ISKCON building. And when he comes, my room was adjacent to his room. And when he comes, I don't sleep in my room. I go to sleep in the temple room. So when I take my mass and I'm going to the temple room, he will ask the other senior devotee that, where is Vasudeva going? So that devotee told him, oh, he goes to sleep in the temple room. I was afraid of getting close to him. I was afraid of getting too close to him. I had that apprehension, that fear for sadhus, especially when I joined newly. I don't know whether I committed some offenses against sadhus in my past life, so it carried was like a carried over from past life. That apprehension was there because it's so easy to commit offenses begin to see the sadhu as, oh, he sleeps, I sleep, he eats, I eat. The spiritual master, same thing. And therefore, if we are in the service mode, we will not have any cause to fear. Because the services, I remember a scenario in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Gadara Pandit committed some offense against Pundarik Vidyanidhi because he didn't understand this devotional status of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So when he came there with, who was that? Who did Gadara Pandit come to see Pundarik Vidyanidhi with? Huh? Yes, Mukunda. Thank you. So Mukunda had told him that a very great saintly person is in town. Let's go see him. He said he's very detached, very advanced. But when Gadara Pandit came, he saw Pundarik Vidyanidhi in just amazing opulence. So he had misconception in his mind. And so Mukunda also understood that Gadara Pandit misconstrued the opulence of Pundarik Vidyanidhi and misidentified Pundarik Vidyanidhi with the opulence, thinking, he might not be so advanced, otherwise, Vairagya. So, and this is what Lord Chaitanya came to teach, Vairagya, Bhakti, Nija Bhakti Yoga. So, he had this problem. And then, his friend recited some verses. Mukunda recited some verses from the Bhagavatam. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi swooned. He went into ecstasy. And Gadara Pandit almost killed himself. And to pay back his offense, he said he has to take initiation and serve Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So my point is, if we are rendering service, we don't have cause to fear. We are protected. Because the gurus, the sadhus, they're not going around to check, oh, you committed an offense. Oh, you didn't respect me. Oh, you didn't pay obeisances to me. Oh, you didn't do it. That's not the business. It's carrying the banner of Krishna consciousness to enliven, motivate, and inspire the devotees around. So we should not have unnecessary apprehension. Yes. It's 9:30. Okay. So tomorrow we have another program in the evening, right? Yeah. I need to close now because I'm called material nature is pressing me. I drank plenty of water and I need to pay the call of nature. I'm sorry. But it's already time. We could extend it. But you can, write down your questions and maybe tomorrow you can ask along with that in the evening. Tomorrow it will be in the evening, so those of you who are working, we will not have any problem with that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Krishna Janmashtami ki jai.